folks, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to do a quick card here, and I've got my card base and a card insert and my card front. Okay, and I've got some old stamps. I don't know where they're from, but I'm going to use them today to make a scene on the front of my card. That's the wrong piece, so I'm going to pop that to the side, and I'm going to just start. So I've got this piece of card, probably better with a piece of paper, and just want to make a wee hillside shape. So I've just kind of made a hill. I've got a mark on it already, so I'm going to start from the bottom and hopefully hide that. So I've got some ink that I had on a blending brush in blue, because the card is going to be predominantly a blue colour, but also because that's what's on my brush. So what I'm doing is, I say, I've ripped this piece to make it a kind of mask for a sort of scene, to make a hillside scene. So I'm just going to hold it on. If you were doing something like that, you could mask it if you wanted. I'm quite confident I can do it without, so there we go. And then you can turn it over and just use the same thing and just do exactly the same. On the edge, pull your blending brush out, or your blender sponge, you can use either, and you create a little kind of line there as if it were a hillside. And then I'm going to do another one this side as well. Just there we go, like so, and then that kind of just creates a bit of a kind of hillside. I'll do one more piece like so, and there we go. I hope you can see that. You can. So I've got this tree. I don't know what set of stamps these are from. They're very old, and I really don't know the name of them. So I've got some blue Versaclear ink, which I'm going to use. Was going to use Versafine Memento Black, but I've changed my mind. I'm going to use this. So I'm just going to ink up kind of the top part of the tree. I'm not going to ink it all the way down, because I want to just use part of it. So I'm just going to pop it on here. I'm trying to see where it's going to be going on. So I'm going to pop it on roughly, trying to find the mark. So the mark's sort of here. So I want the tree to kind of come there. Just leave it for a few seconds just till it soaks in. And then, yeah, that's okay. So it does look like it's actually on the hill. I can always ground it again by doing this if it's not, you know, it's not perfect. So you can always just ground it a little bit by putting that back, and then just doing so, and then that kind of gives it a bit of grounding, and it doesn't look like it's floating in the air. And then I'm just going to do one that's just going to come up behind on a second generation, so it just has a wee bit of a, you know, once as if it's slightly further back. And then I'm going to do this again. So I'm going to ink this up a wee bit further down this time, so about there, and I'm going to just pop this down at the front here. Like that. And then a very light second generation one in there as well. So that starts to create that scene. I need my piece of wipe again. And then I'm just going to do the stag now. So I've got a nice stag here. As I say, I don't know where he's from. And hopefully it'll work. I'm just seeing he's maybe too big actually. I think we're going to have to leave the stag off at the minute. So we could do another tree, but make it very small in the distance this time. So let's just wipe that extra off. So for this one, I only want to see kind of the top of the tree because I don't have a smaller stamp. So I'm just going to ink up to a certain place, slightly further down. Here we go. So I've only inked up a wee bit at the top there. And I just want, so I don't want the rest of the stuff to go on my card base. So I'm going to just, bear with me, I'll find something to cover it with. Looking in my bin, that's perhaps not a good idea. So what I've got here is a bit of post-it note which I can use. So I want my tree to kind of go basically there. So I've covered up the white because I don't want it to mark the rest of my card. And I don't want it to go on the white piece that I already had. So there we go. So that kind of comes out the back. And then I want to just pop another one, which would probably have made sense if I just kept that there just now. So I want to do a second generation one just at the side of it. Like so. There we go. And then that stops that from getting covered in ink where we don't want it to be. So pop that to the side, and then we can just get our a piece of masking that we've made into a hillside, and we can just kind of try and look to see which bit we put where, and then we can just, I think it must have been that piece there I had it, I think. And then we can just go over it a little bit again just to you know, give that a bit more definition. So just find that was there, just giving that a bit more definition there, so you can actually see that that's your hillside. And then we can do the same here a little bit, middle, like that, so it's giving you a bit more definition. And let's just see here, I think I slightly did it a bit different here. We can do a kind of smaller piece here, so it's just about creating that scene and just making it look realistic. And I'll just do a wee bit down the bottom here as well, so just so that it doesn't move too much. There we go. And then one more thing that I did want to do, if I can get it cut in half. So I want to just have a circle. So what I want you to do is actually take a post-it, and you want to try and get the sticky bit. So you can put it together like that, and you can grab your scissors and you can cut into it a little bit and then cut into it again, and then now how am I going to do this? I want to create a circle shape, but I want to have the sticky bit so I can stick it. So this is just a rough circle. It is not in any shape or form perfect. You could use a circle die, or you could draw around a circle and then cut it out. This is just my way of doing it. And it's probably actually quite a big circle. So the reason I cut it on post-it is so that it's got that sticky piece and that you can put it onto your background and then you can ink around it. And that gives you that moon, that creates the moon in the sky. Like so, and then you can just do that. So there you go, that's your moon. And you can actually keep that on and do other colours, but I'm not going to do that just now because that's all I want to do. Now what I do want to do is I want to just add some of the trees in gold Versamark ink. Gold heat embossed, I should say. Ink, I don't know why I said that. So I want to do the similar thing just over the front of that one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually stamp that a bit, and then I'm going to just bring that down. And I did not actually do my anti-static bag, which I need to do, which I should have done. I didn't actually do that, so always remember to do your anti-static bag. It just ensures that no other stray things that you don't want to be there won't be there. So I'm just going to do the same. I just stamped it off slightly because I don't want it to be too thick. So I'm going to just do another one, just kind of there as well, and then a very last one up the top, and let's hope this works. So the top one was just a tiny wee bit you wanted to cover, and then I'll just even take this piece here, my masking, find the bits, oh come on, and then I just want to do one, oh, I just want to do one just there as well, and that should work. And the next thing I want to do is get my gold embossing powder, and then we can just heat it, heat emboss, and I hope there's no stray bits going to happen here, because if there is, I'm in trouble. And there is a bit. So you see that there I had a bit of a stray. It's gone away now that I've flicked it, so that's quite good. But if you do have a little brush, a little paintbrush in your box, I don't have mine on the table, typical, you can just do that to get rid of it. So it seems to have worked. So we'll put this all away just now, and we'll get my heat gun on, and then we'll see what this looks like. Okay, and I'll just wipe this away because I don't want any of that. Going in. So I'll get my heat tool. So I'm just going to put this on, so you might have to put your sign down slightly. So just let it heats up quite quickly, and then just hold your paper at the corner and then just heat set this. Hopefully it looks okay. And now it is just starting now to cook. Fortunately, it's not quite as clear as I wanted it to be, but it doesn't really matter. It's still a tree. Yeah, and it looks okay. And you can see that shining. Oh, I don't think that bit's done quite right. Let me just finish this bit off. That's better. Great. So I'm quite happy with that. What I want to actually do is just get the brush back out. I just want to go over this bit here as if it's kind of grounding that tree, because it just looks a bit like it's floating in the air, so that's a wee bit better. And probably just the same here, which is actually okay, but just to kind of ground that a bit, and then kind of ground that. Yeah, that's fine. Now the very last thing I want to do actually is go back and do my heat embossing and do winter wishes on the bottom of the card. And I'm going to just use this piece of card, because I think actually that is the piece of card that came off there. And let's just check, go back to our base and see if this is all going to fit. So it's going to look like that, and yeah, that's going to work. So I'm going to get my block. I'm going to put that on there. So what I need to do here again is to get my embossing buddy, which I forgot the last time. Just put the anti-static bag onto that. Just get rid of that for a minute, and then I want to heat emboss. So I want to get my Versamark, which is a sticky ink, back onto this Winter Wishes stamp here. Just give it a good loading up, and then I want to just do this with gold ink, gold embossing powder. So stick that down in the middle, like so. There we go. And we can just see that. You can just see Winter Wishes. You should be able to just, hopefully you can see that. I can't quite see it through my camera. So the next thing we want to do is to take the embossing powder again, and I want to just go over that. So the embossing powder clings to the sticky ink basically, like so, and we can just give that a wee ping, a wee flick, because that's quite, I don't know, I might be turning that over and doing it again because I'm not happy with this. So let's just do it again, because sometimes it does look like it's a bit smudged. So I've loaded that up again, and I'll do it again into there. I wouldn't normally do it onto the same page as the embossing powder, and I don't think I've did that with my wee embossing buddy. We'll see what happens. So we'll just pop that into the already embossing powder that's there, if we can. So we just pop that. It's a bit like when you used to do glittering when you were little. So that is a bit better. Yeah, I think that's not quite as, it was, the other one was a bit like merging together, which isn't so good. So this one's a wee bit better. So I didn't do it with my embossing buddy, but hopefully it'll work. So pop that to the side. Put the lid on before you start your heat tool because you don't want it going everywhere. And then I'll start heat embossing. Always put your heat tool on and give it a few seconds before you actually put it to the card. And just hold it on the edge and you'll see that change, hopefully. And I love heat embossing, always just looks amazing. See that turning and changing, and then just hold it at the other side so you're not burning yourself. There you go. And it has got a bit of extra on it, but I can cut that down. So I'll just get my trimmer and I'll just cut that down. Like so. I don't need it to be that wide. There we go. And then I'm just going to pop it together now. So I'm not going to do the insert. I'll just do the front because I do think time's marching on. So I'm going to do this wee bit here. I'm going to just cut it and make it look like a banner. So I've cut up halfway up, well, in the actually middle of this, and I'm going to cut that there. And then from this corner diagonally, I'm going to meet that up. And the same at this bit, meet up, so that we get this type of banner type sort of tag. And yeah, we've got a few wee stray bits. That's why you need your anti-static bag, because if you don't use it, this is what happens. But that could be easily covered with gems or something. So the same thing, cut to the middle, then diagonally from each corner into the middle, and that gives you your banner type tag. I mean, if you've got a die that's like this, by all means use it, of course. Do whatever makes you happy, basically. So I've did that, and then, as I said, I already had embossed this with a sort of snowflakey type thing. Now I'm just going to use some glitter pen as well. I'm just going to splatter it. It's just to give it a little bit of sparkle. Now you could use stuff like glossy accents, not glossy accents, Stickles as well. So I don't think I've actually got the gold Stickles on. Oh, I do. I've got the gold Stickles here. So these ones are called Diamond, and they have kind of like gold glitter through it. So that's probably the better one to use. So you could use that as well. And actually, I'll just do the pen first. So just kind of prime your pen. So it's got a wee press bit there. So that means just to kind of prime it to come out a bit. So you could just do a few wee kind of bits like that on your card, just to give it a little extra bit of glitter and shine. So you could always do the splatter as well, which I like a bit of a splatter. So that's just doing this all over your background as well. And you could use your glossy, not glossy, I keep saying glossy accents. It's because I've been using glossy accents. I'm not going to use this one. I've got another one which is diamond, and I think that might be better. So these are just basically glitter glue, and you could just use that to kind of go round. I said I was going to do this after, but it's ended up I haven't done it after. So just, yeah, you can just pop wee bits of that as well. You can pull it down a bit so it's not so lumpy looking. That's what I find, if you kind of pull it down a bit, it's a bit nicer looking than big kind of lumpy bits of glitter glue that you perhaps don't want. There we go. Yep. And let me just see this. What I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the edge here, just to take the starkness away from the edge of the white. There we go. So I'm just going to pop that on the front now, and I'm just going to use wet glue for that. So hope you've enjoyed watching my video, and it would be really great if you have, and you can comment if you want to make a comment about anything, want to ask anything, please do. Please share this video with your crafting friends, family, anybody who you think would enjoy it. It's somebody that's perhaps lost their crafting mojo, which is a bit like me. I'm a wee bit like that just now. I've kind of lost a bit of my crafting mojo, but I felt like coming on today and doing a video, so I'm quite proud of myself for that. And this one here, I'm just going to pop that on as well with wet glue. So there we go, just pop that on the bottom. So, and that's my card. So thank you for watching. I hope you've, as I said, I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope that you will give me a thumbs up. You'll subscribe to my channel. You share as much as possible, just so that I can build up my channel. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Okay, thanks. Bye for now. See you soon.